There's a moment when sunlight hits a rocky trail just right, when a glint in the gravel suddenly stops you in your tracks. Your heart skips, your eyes narrow. That flicker wasn't just glass, or was it? You're standing in a forest clearing, far from roads, cities, and shops. And yet something beautiful, something hidden for millennia, might be sitting beneath your boots. Could it be a crystal? Or better yet, could it be something valuable? This isn't just a dream for prospectors or geologists. In fact, you've likely walked past valuable crystals in the wild more times than you'll ever know. Today, we'll show you exactly how to recognize them and how to know when nature has handed you something truly extraordinary. This is EGS Pro, and you're about to uncover the wild secrets of crystal wealth hiding in plain sight. Let's begin with the basics. In the wild, most crystals won't look like the polished gemstones displayed in a jeweler's case. They're raw, rugged, sometimes dirty, but unmistakably shaped by the Earth's slow, ancient hand. You need to learn how to read shape, luster, and texture, rather than shine and color alone. Take quartz, for example. It's the most abundant crystal found on Earth, and the perfect starting point. In its natural form, quartz grows in pointed hexagonal columns. Even in a muddy stream bed or dusty mountainside, its crystal faces reflect light in flat, mirror-like flashes. But here's the trick. Not all quartz is equal. Some types of quartz, like amethyst or citrine, are colored by natural trace elements like iron or manganese. If you spot purple, yellow, or smoky hues in quartz-like clusters, you could be looking at something much rarer and more valuable. And if that crystal is perfectly terminated, meaning it has a clean, sharp point, collectors and mineral buyers will pay a premium. But quartz is just the tip of the geological iceberg. Next, we enter pegmatite territory, the wild child of geology. Pegmatites are coarse-grained igneous rocks formed by mineral-rich magma cooling slowly in cracks and cavities deep underground. And they are prime territory for rare crystals. If you stumble upon pegmatite in the wild, stop immediately. You're in a zone where minerals like tourmaline, beryl, lepidolite, or even topaz could be embedded like treasure in a granite tomb. These crystals often grow large, some the size of your hand, and many are strikingly colorful. Pink tourmaline, electric green elbate, blue aquamarine, all of them can emerge from pegmatite with sharp, unmistakable crystal geometry. And they're not just pretty. These wild finds can carry market value in the thousands of dollars, depending on clarity and completeness. But how do you know if that pink shard is real tourmaline or just a cleverly colored rock? Simple. Test the crystal faces. Use the light, not tools. Rotate it slowly in daylight and watch for flat surfaces that flash like mirrors. Tourmaline has striated sides, ridged like vertical grooves, and breaks cleanly along its length. Feel the weight. Tourmaline is dense. If it feels too light, it's likely just colored glass or quartz. But this isn't just about shiny things. It's about understanding Earth's hidden economy. You see, every valuable crystal starts its journey deep beneath tectonic plates, under crushing pressure and extreme heat. Over millions of years, fluid-rich veins, often the same ones that carry gold, rise into cracks, depositing mineral wealth where you least expect it. And yes, gold-rich zones and crystal zones often overlap. So if you're hiking near hydrothermal springs, old volcanic ridges, or regions known for ancient fault lines, pay attention. These are nature's delivery systems for both gold and gems, and this is where your eyes become your most powerful tool. Let's imagine you're walking a high mountain path in the late afternoon. The light is golden, shadows long. You bend down to tie your boot and notice a cluster of white rock jutting from a crumbling hillside. Nothing fancy at first, but then you see it, a deep purple gleam in a jagged pocket. You dig gently. It's amethyst. Now the question is it valuable? Turn it slowly. Are the points undamaged? Are the crystal faces transparent, without inclusions? Is it part of a larger geode? If the answer is yes to any of these, you've found not just a mineral, but a marketable treasure. Now let's talk about the crystals people often miss. Some of the most valuable minerals look the most boring at first glance. Take garnet, for instance. In its natural form, it often appears as dull, rust-colored nodules. But when cracked open, garnet reveals deep red, perfectly faceted crystals, sometimes large enough to cut into gems. In mountainous or metamorphic regions, garnet-bearing schist can be common. If you spot a flaky silver-black rock with hints of red crystals inside, don't dismiss it. Then there's apatite, often mistaken for quartz but in green or blue hues, or fluorite, which comes in cubes and can glow under UV light. These may not be jewelry grade, but in the collector's market, they're in demand. The key is recognition, knowing what to stop for and what to ignore. But what if the most valuable crystal of your life doesn't sparkle at all? What if it's hiding under layers of iron-stained clay? What if it's locked inside host rock that looks like nothing? Well, that's where we must take you next, into the rarest, most camouflaged crystal zones on Earth, and the secrets to spotting them without tools, without machines, just using eyes trained by truth. We'll decode nature's clues, from mineral color halos to fracture patterns in cliff walls. We'll even reveal which rock formations act like crystal billboards, pointing toward the vaults inside the mountain. But that, dear viewer, is only the beginning. Because the deeper you go into this hidden world, the more nature tests whether you truly see or merely look. Let's begin with the most underestimated tool in the prospector's arsenal: fracture patterns. Crystals don't break like ordinary rocks. Quartz, for example, shatters in a glass-like conchoidal fracture, often forming smooth curved surfaces that look as if they were scooped by a spoon. Calcite, on the other hand, breaks into perfect rhombohedral shapes, like miniature geometric puzzles. Fluorite. It cleaves into octahedrons that feel like nature's attempt at math homework. If the crystal in your hand breaks with clean, directional lines, pay attention. You're not holding a common pebble. Next, focus on luster. This is where wild crystals either scream their value or hide in plain sight. The shimmer you see isn't just about surface sparkle. It's about how light reflects from within. Crystals like topaz or zircon produce an adamantine luster, meaning their glint can rival diamonds under the sun. Others, like feldspar, produce a pearly or vitreous sheen that changes as you rotate the specimen. If your find catches the light in a way that dances, almost holographically, you may be holding a gem-grade treasure. But value isn't just in visual appeal. Density and hardness separate real gems from imposters. This is where your field smarts matter. Quartz scratches glass. Garnet can bite into steel. Tourmaline resists weathering where other stones crumble. Even without equipment, a field test using a piece of glass or your own knife can help determine hardness. It's not foolproof, but it filters out the riffraff. Now let's talk about color zoning. This is a subtle fingerprint of formation conditions. Amethyst with deep purple cores and lighter edges shows it crystallized in waves of fluctuating temperature and iron presence. Bicolor tourmalines, those that fade from green to pink, tell a geological story of shifting chemistry in fluid-rich pockets. These aren't just pretty patterns, they're proof of rarity, and rarity equals value. Then there's the often overlooked power of association. What other minerals are growing nearby? If your find is surrounded by mica, feldspar, and lepidolite, you're likely in a pegmatite zone, a prime birthplace for tourmaline, topaz, kunzite, and beryl. Found some heavy black sands and magnetite nearby? That could signal placer deposits or hydrothermal activity, which often coexist with quartz, gold, and fluorite veins. Nature rarely creates crystals in isolation, and in the end, remember this. Every wild crystal has a story. Some are billions of years old, formed under pressures and temperatures we can barely imagine. When you pick up that rough garnet, that smoky quartz, or that chunk of feldspar glowing with Labrador essence, you're not just holding a mineral, you're holding a fragment of Earth's autobiography. So the next time you walk a remote trail, sit near a bubbling stream, or scramble over boulders on a sunlit ridge, keep your eyes sharp, not just for sparkle, but for structure, luster, and context. Because in the world of wild crystals, value isn't only in the stone, it's in the knowledge to recognize it. And that knowledge, that's the real treasure.